How do I flip this? There it
Sorry,
is.
that took a minute.
You're good. I'm gonna flip this because now you are live, ma'am.
I'll hold these. Will you put them on the thing? Like click on the last. Is this right? If you like refresh it. Where's that on here? Is that this? Maybe just refresh the page, and then it usually like says, yeah. Sylvia says hello.
Hi, Sylvia.
Thank you.
It's crazy the lag time in between. That was really Facebook was like. Sylvia, I'm your number one fan. Hi, babe. Brazil and on see money feeling after Brazilian family joined. Gotta get our Facebook up.
We got two. Better than the first
I know,
time.
first time we had like 0 for like 45 minutes. Alright, let's start. Alright, guys. So today we're doing Sunday sauce. Sunday sauce is my favorite thing growing up as a kid because it's what we had every morning. On Sunday morning, my mom would wake up super early because it takes 3 to 4 hours to cook. So basically what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys how to do it, and then you guys would basically leave it on for the next 3 hours if you want to, or turn it off, throw it back on tomorrow morning, let it go, or turn it off, throw it back on Sunday morning for a few hours. But at least we can get the whole gist of it done. Now, cool thing is, after this, in the next hopefully few days, all of our videos that we've done are going to be uploaded to YouTube, and we'll give you all that information next time. So if you miss any of this stuff or need to go back, you can just go on YouTube and get on whatever the channel is, and then we can do it together. So because my parents and my family is Napolitan and they're from Naples and they're from Italy, this dish is from Naples. It's from Italy, right? So why not serve Aglianico? Aglianico is a wine from Campania, where Naples is, right? So we're gonna do this again because I enjoyed wholeheartedly drinking wine during this last time. So we're gonna do it again. So same way, guys, like we did last time. Cork with the screw kind of on an angle. Enter in that way. Start to twist. You could do the bottle, you could do the cork, any which way you want. One, two, and then try not to make it pop because I hate that noise. Just like that, all right? So cheers. We're gonna do red wine today because this is perfect for it. Plus this goes in the wine, so cheers. Goes in the sauce. Fantastic. I'm gonna try not to tip that over like last time. All right, so to get this started, actually you're gonna have to plug that in. So to get this started, we're gonna get
Which thing do we
all of
want to unplug?
all of our stuff prepared to make the sauce first, and then we're gonna make everything else, sear it off, and then add it back into the sauce, all right? So let's make the sauce first. Turn your pan on, our fancy contraption here. I'm gonna throw it on probably about a number 10 just to start getting it hot, all right? So as that's getting hot, or as it's going, Danny, you wanna come into the live? We're doing Facebook Live. Hi, Danny. Hi, Danny.
I actually had some guests who were really interested in this. They go to doing it.
Why don't you just send them down? We can talk to them all day.
Okay, so what? Okay.
All right. Olive oil inside there. That's going to start getting hot. And as that's getting hot, we're going to get our stuff ready, right? So again, what we talk about every week, this is mise en place. Means everything in its place or everything prepared. So garlic first, okay? So nice slices. All right. We do 2 to 3 cloves on this because it's a lot of sauce. Just like that. So now, whenever you see me do pomodoro sauce or just regular tomato sauce, it's normally just garlic and tomatoes, all right? when we're doing this with Sunday sauce, this is a little bit different. This is gonna have a lot more flavor. There's gonna be a lot more going on. There's red wine in it. There's all different types of meats. We're gonna put some onion in there, chili flakes, basil. There's a lot happening in this one. And then this normally gets served over pasta. Pasta gets served with the sauce. All the meat comes out, and then you serve the meat as second course. That's normally how it goes, all right? Because if you go to Italy, the Italians don't mix their meats with the pasta unless you're in the north, and that's bolognese, all right? And we could do that another time on the bolognese, and that's probably gonna take a little bit of time. You're gonna need a meat grinder, a lot going on for that one, all right? So onions, talk about it every week when we do these. Nice, fluid slices, just like this. Try not to slice through the entire thing. All right. Same thing on this guy.
Take a pop. Do you want to say hey
Yeah,
real quick?
1 second. Guys, come in. So we do an Instagram live every week, so you guys are in it. So say hello. What's up? Nice to meet you guys. Nice to meet you. So actually, it's funny you guys are here. So we're gonna do something that's not on the menu. So it's actually a lot of fun. So this is called Sunday sauce. So Sunday sauce, it's called ragu in Italian. So my parents are from Naples, Italy. So this is what we would have every Sunday, right? So like my mom would get up super early, she would make all this stuff, and then it's just sitting there all day. And then normally I get smacked because I run around with a piece of bread and you try to dip it in the sauce, and then you get hit for it. Because there was like a whole wives' tale that if you get bread in the sauce, it ruins the sauce. So I think it's bullshit. So it's cool because we have pork ribs in it. There's meat. We're gonna make meatballs. There is sausage chunks in there, and then there's something called brociole, which is basically pounded out beef, and it's stuffed in a roll and tied. It's really good. Awesome. You have perfect time to come in. How was
And
your
it's my birthday. I'm good.
first time here? Awesome. How'd you guys hear about this?
Well, his twin brother is on his way. And
Awesome. Very
we go to Georgia Tech. They're 22, senior, so we're celebrating.
I love it. That's awesome.
Thank
Congrats.
you guys.
Very cool. Very good. Thank you. We're trying. Trying for sure. Want to hang out and watch me do it?
Sure.
All right. Here we go. So, pan's hot, got oil in it, garlic sliced. We're going to slice our onion now.
Y'all are welcome to say it if you would like.
I'm good standing. We don't have to take a picture.
You can
Of
take
course.
whatever you want.
Now, do you have audio on there? Or just
Yeah, there's audio. They can do it. All right. Onions going.
I work in film, so we just actually did a short film, and one of our bad guys is from Roma,
Oh, nice.
and he owns an Italian restaurant in Peachtree City,
Cool.
Borgo Italia.
That's awesome. Very, very cool.
So sometime you'll have to come down.
Yeah, for sure. We'd love to. Absolutely. All right, guys. So everything goes into the bowl because then we're going to take this to the pot. If I brought the pot over right now, the pot's scorching hot, so that's the last thing I want to do. All right, so onions over. You can tell it's hot because it's smoking. All right, again, you don't want to burn your guests, so point the oil away. Throw your onion and your garlic in there. All right, so onions and garlic's going. Still leave your pan on high. Don't be afraid, you're not gonna burn it. What do we got? Any questions for this live video? Cool. Danny is dope. That's great. All right, get that going. As that's going, we're gonna take a few basil leaves, throw those in there. All right, because we're trying to flavor the oil. We're gonna add a little bit more oil because I want it to be a little bit more fat in there. So we're gonna add probably about another 2 or 3 tablespoons just to get the ball rolling.
No vampires here, right?
What's that?
No vampires.
Nah.
Got a lot of
Too
garlic.
much garlic.
Yeah. And then we're gonna add a good teaspoon of chili flakes, all right? So, get that going. We're looking basically to get it a little translucent here. We're not trying to get it to brown. You know, when you brown garlic, a lot of people do that. They over brown their garlic. It adds that bitterness. It's not what you're looking for in any kind of Italian cooking. Not to mention, you saw how much I just did for how much tomatoes here, there's that ongoing myth that the Italians use a lot of garlic. That's actually bullshit. That's not true. They don't. A lot of times they take the garlic out. I'm gonna leave the garlic in this time. Absolutely, guys. Nice to meet you. All right. Still going. That's it. Famous. Done. Famous now. That's it. All right. Keep this going. Turn up the heat a little bit more. Give that another second. Now, like we talked about last time, guys, or anytime we throw something in there that we want to sweat a little bit, we always add salt. And this is the first point of seasoning, because we season in stages. And like we say every single week, you can never take salt out. You can always add more, so don't go crazy. All right. That's going. I think it's time for a wine break, right? Definitely time for a wine break. Cheers. Tara, get back to work, Tara. Shouldn't be watching this. All right, get that stirred up. We're almost there. It already smells good. All right, one or two more seconds, and that's good. Now, as that's going, we'll start getting some other stuff ready, right? So from here, as that's going, we're gonna make meatballs. So we can kind of get this ball rolling a little bit while that's still doing its thing. Throw a glove on, because the last thing you want to do is put raw meat on your hands, right? So take the back of this, guys. So this is a pound of ground beef. You know, growing up, my mom had her own recipe that she always did. My grandmother had her own recipe she did. So this is my mom's recipe. My mom's recipe actually has a little bit of sausage in it. Where on the menu for at Garana, the mommy's meatballs has no sausage. I took it out just because that would be too much pork on the menu, and we try to, you know, if somebody has a pork allergy or somebody can't eat pork, we want to make sure that, you know, we're able to accommodate everybody. So, ground beef in the bowl. Come and check on your onions. Make sure you're not burning anything. All right, so if you're looking at it, you can see we're getting slight color on it, but it's starting to become translucent. Now is when you're going to want to add your wine, okay? So, we talk about it every week. Reduction, right? Reduction is going to add a ton of flavor to this. So, I start off with a good amount of red wine. Don't be afraid. You're not going to do anything wrong to this. All right, so you hear a lot of people say they put sugar in their tomato sauce, okay? I don't believe in that. The way I get the same way is I use red wine or white wine. So I'm using red wine this time because I want this sauce to have a really deep color to it. I want it to look like a Sunday ragu, all right? So I'm gonna lower this down now, probably about medium heat, and I want this to take its time reducing. I don't wanna make sure it goes too fast, all right? We have other things to be doing right now. Ground beef. In the ground beef, we're gonna add some sausage, our beloved neighbors Sprouts. We bought our sausage from.
All of these are sponsored by Sprouts.
Yes, everything's sponsored by Sprouts today. They don't know it yet. Eventually, I guess they'll end up having to pay me for this, but not yet. All right, we're gonna use one whole link in this. Always take the skin off because it doesn't make any sense, right?
Dirty Jersey said that sugar is for rookies.
It is for rookies, you're right, brother. 100%. All right, throw your sausage in there. Okay, so that's in there. Now, we're gonna do a little bit of salt because we say it every single week. I don't know where you guys shop. Where I shop, this shit doesn't come seasoned. Then we're gonna do Parmesan cheese. All right. Don't be afraid. I like my Parmesan cheese in there. Then we are gonna do ricotta cheese. Okay. So I do ricotta instead of milk soaking your bread or your leftover bread from the other day, and I use breadcrumbs. I just like the texture a little better. I don't like whole chunks of bread in my meatball. My grandmother used to do it that way. That's not the way I like to do it. So, you know, it's just done a little differently. Throw an egg in there. Throw another egg in there. All right, and then take the gloves off for a second. And then we're gonna do a couple leaves of basil, all right? So I like basil in my meatballs. I know a lot of other people do. My mom, I believe, does basil and parsley, but I just like basil. So we're gonna slice this guy up, same way as we do every week, guys. We don't chop, we slice, because we don't want to bruise the basil. We want the flavor to stay in the basil, and we don't want all that nasty green stuff on your cutting board. All right, basil in there, just like that. And then the last thing is my mom, when she makes her meatballs, she puts a little bit of water in there. I don't like that. I put a little bit of tomato passata in there, which is basically just crushed tomato. And the reason why is because we're going to cook this in tomato sauce anyway, so why add water when we could just add exactly what we're going to cook it in? It just makes more sense to me. All right? So a little bit more salt, because I know it's going to need it, and we don't really have time to test this, so I'll hit it with a little bit more salt. And then get your gloves on, and we're going to mix these together, right? So we're going to roll a bunch of them, we're going to fry them off, we're going to do all this very, very fluidly here today. Sorry I'm looking down a lot this time. Just, we got a lot to do. All right. So
This is the secret recipe.
this is a secret recipe, guys. This is the Nona's meatballs basically on the Grana menu. So I would definitely take notes right now. Okay. All right. So get in there. Now the last thing you want to do with this is sit here and really start beating this up, because you want to keep the meatball tender. Okay. So what I do is I break apart the meat a little bit, just like that. Break apart the sausage a little bit. All right. The last thing you want to do is throw this into some sort of mixer or anything like that. It makes no sense. You're going to end up adding all these breadcrumbs to it, and it's going to end up getting really, really tough. You ever have a meatball and it's hard as a rock? You can throw it against the wall and it breaks the wall. And I like the walls up here at Grana, so the last thing I want to do is damage some walls, right? So get in there now. Give it a little toss, just like this. All right. Not too much more. We're almost done. So I could tell by the texture of this, it needs a little more breadcrumbs. So we're gonna add a little more breadcrumb. All right. It also could tell it needs a little bit more parm. So add a little more parm. And then you still, same thing, just start tossing these around a little bit, just like that. And then almost there, just kind of fully incorporating it now, and everything looks and feels really good in here. Make sure you're not over mixing it. Last thing you want to do again is throw this in a mixer with a dough attachment. Just not going to be good. All right, so that's done. All right. Normally I put this in the fridge, but we don't have that kind of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to tear these apart just like this. All right, and we're going to start rolling the meatballs. So what I do anytime I have a meatball is I take it, I squish it between my hands, and then I roll it up into a ball, just like that. All right.
What kind of breadcrumbs do you use?
So I'm using panko here. Normally I like to use like the seasoned Progresso. I'm just using panko today just because it's easy to find, and a lot of the times I'm gonna have to add extra salt and everything to it anyway. And I don't want to sit here and tell you guys to use you know, the seasoned stuff, and you add a ton of salt to it, and then you're gonna yell at me that your stuff's salty. So let's come back here. Take a look at this. It's reduced, right? Maybe another second or two. We're gonna turn up the heat a little bit. All right. And I mean, if you could smell this right now, I'm telling you it's amazing. All right. All right. Now,
Very pretty color.
it is very pretty. Now that that's done, we're gonna add our tomatoes. So I have a bunch of different kinds, all right? I like my sauce, just like everything else, I want texture, okay? So this one's a puree. We're gonna start with the puree. Throw it in there. All right. Then we're gonna add chopped. So these are a little chunkier. It's not as pureed. That goes in there. Now remember, this is gonna last a little bit. This will last you all week, so we're making a lot, all right? Another one in there. And then plus, it's also gotta hold all of your meatballs, it's gotta hold your brociole, it's gotta hold your ribs. There's a lot that's happening in here. And then I do 2 jars of passata. Passata is my favorite because it's the best tomato sauce, I think. It's like the first picking almost, like extra virgin olive oil, and then it just basically gets pureed. So I love that. I'm gonna turn up the heat just a little bit, not a lot. I'm gonna add a little bit more salt because now's the time. And then what I'm gonna do is the last can here, because this is the puree and you can see it's stuck in there, I add a little bit of water. I don't ever like to do this, but this time, you know, why waste money, right? Give that a little stir, just like that. And then add that in there, all right? So that's that, that's going. We're gonna jack up the heat. We're gonna get that guy basically up to a boil or a simmer, and then we're gonna bring it down. But for now, this is where it's gonna live for a second, all right? So we'll leave that here. So my grandmother used to leave that like that, and that to you made sure that you didn't stick anything in there. No hands, no nothing. And she'd see that if it was moved a little bit, she would then use this to hit you with, okay? I'm not gonna hit these girls with it, I promise, all right? So now, back to the meatballs, because we're cruising now, all right? We gotta do a wine break, why not, right?
Wine break.
Yeah, wine break. So I like Muti tomatoes as well. My favorite is actually this Francescana tomato that I could only find in New York. And I'm actually heading up to New York in a few weeks to try to source it to bring it down. So that's my favorite. So normally that's what I would go for, and you just can't find it here. So my mom has been rolling meatballs her whole life, right? So I don't know how she does it, but she never uses a scale. She never does anything. But every single one of her meatballs is same shape, same size. Mine, it always starts off so good when it comes to the shape and size, and I always end up screwing it up somehow. So I got 3 different sizes here, which is fine, because you know, if you guys are paying attention to that, you should be paying attention to what I'm cooking. Don't pay attention to the size, all right? All right. Couple more. We're gonna do all this, all right? Because what ends up happening, guys, if you guys haven't noticed yet, there's a gentleman that works at Grana. His name is Flavio. Okay? Flavio gets all of the food I make. Because if I don't give it to him, he gives me a lot of shit. All right? And plus, I don't do it for him. I do it for Sylvia. She's on here right now. Okay? She's fantastic, and I love Sylvia. So I always send it home to Sylvia, all right? And then I get, you know, it ends up working in my favor because eventually she invites me over on Sunday and I get to eat it anyway. So it's fantastic. All right, let's get these. So what did my cousin say over there and on Facebook?
Haha, the truth.
Em, I love you, Em. So that's Supat's sister right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you can say hi to Supat's sister.
Hello.
All right. So a couple more meatballs here. So guys, a pound of meat right there. I mean, look how many we've already made. It makes quite a bit. You know, if you're like me, you could have about 6 of these in a sitting. You know, maybe the next day you throw it on a sandwich. You know, have some fun with it, you know? All right. Meatballs almost there.
She says hi, I love you.
I love you too, Em.
That's so sweet.
She's awesome. All right.
Is she in Atlanta?
No, she lives in New York.
Ooh.
Em, I'll be up in a couple weeks. Hopefully we get to see each other. I miss you. Start crying on camera. All right, a few more. And again, like, so guys, just giving you a little source of reference, okay? We have the meatball flight here at Grana. So we roll about 1,000 meatballs a day, all right? I'm the meatball rolling king. They won't let me in the kitchen to roll meatballs because, you know, I'm the chef and I'm the boss, and they said if I gotta get in there, then somebody's in trouble. So they leave me alone. Thank God, because I rolled a lot of meatballs in my life. And plus, if my mom showed up, she'd probably yell at me because she's probably gonna tell me I didn't do it right. All right, so those are done. All right. So we're gonna get everything else prepped at the same time so that we kind of start cooking everything together. The last thing we're gonna do together is the brajol. That's my favorite, but we'll do that together in a second. So now we're gonna get the sausage ready, then we're gonna get the pork ribs ready. We're gonna start searing that off, and as that's searing off, we'll finish the brajol, all right? So if you come over here and look, you got a little simmer going, all right? I want a little bit more before I turn this down. Now, if let's say you're doing this and you forget about this guy here, what I would do is call your husband, call your wife, call your girlfriend, send her back to the store because she's got to go buy more tomatoes because you fucking ruined it, all right? And that's the last thing you want to do is burn the bottom of this thing, all right? So get it up to a heat, get it up to a boil, turn it down right away, and then just let it do its thing. Every once in a while, give it a stir. If you see that your spoon is sticking to the bottom, that means you're burnt, and stop scraping. If you don't scrape hard enough, you can actually save this by turning it into another pot. But once you start to scrape that, that's gonna ruin the entire tomato sauce. The last thing you want. What'd she say? Already what?
Down on the calendar.
Beautiful. All right. So that's got to go a little bit more. Now we're gonna work on the sausage, all right? Almost there. Sylvia, I love Sylvia. All right. So sprouts, huge sausages, right? We're not gonna do that. We're gonna cut these up, right? I think if I did this at my parents' house, my mom would kill me. So I'm gonna cut these into thirds, okay? So I'm gonna cut that guy like that, cut that guy like that. Same with these. 1, 2. Perfect size. Throw that with some sausage and peppers, and it's fantastic. So let's talk about sausage and peppers while I'm doing this. So if anybody's, you know, if you guys have been living under a rock for the past 3 or 4 days, you notice that Grana just announced that we're doing an event on September 12th called the San Gennaro Festival. So San Gennaro Festival is very, very special to me because Gennaro is my grandfather's name that passed away in Italy. All right, so I have a lot of respect for this event. It is so much fun. I've been to the one in New York City, and there's nothing like it in Atlanta, so why not be able to bring this to Atlanta, right? I think it's going to be fun. You know, it's going to be really good food. It's going to be fantastic cocktails. And we're just going to have a really, really good time. I'm going to be doing some demos, pasta making, pizza making. You know, there's going to be a cannoli eating contest. There's going to be a pizza eating contest. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're getting some Italian singers to come down for the day. Guy playing an accordion running throughout the restaurant. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. September 12th, we're going to start at 11 o'clock in the morning. We're going to end basically whenever the hell we want. But we have to put a cap on at 11 o'clock, right? Just to make people feel good about themselves. So, ribs. I like this because anything on a bone is going to make this taste even better, all right? So that's what we're aiming for. So, here's a bone. Here's a bone. We're going to go in between the second one, because that's a perfect piece. Once this is done cooking, it ain't gonna be this size. What's gonna happen is the meat's gonna cook off of the bone, just like a pork spare rib, right? Off the bone, you're gonna end up with these pieces of bone, and then when you know it's ready, when you can pull that bone out without doing anything, right? So we're gonna do the same thing here.
Chef, do you brown the meat before putting it in the
Absolutely, don't get ahead of yourself. We're still doing it. Come on, who is this? Maria. Yes, I promise. Don't get ahead of yourself. We're gonna do it, I promise. Right now. What did my sister-in-law say? Pizza contest winner? You probably will be, Rach. My son said he's going to take everybody down in the cannoli eating contest. And I guess we'll see, because that kid can eat some cannolis. All right. So, wipe off the knife. We're not going to need this anymore. What's up, my man? Hey, get in the live. Say hello. We're doing Instagram Live. What's up, everybody? This is Jeremy, really good friend of ours. Basically family. We spent time in Vegas together. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. So we're making Sunday sauce.
Okay.
All right. So tomato sauce, meatballs, sausage, pork ribs. We're gonna make some brajol. Everything's happening. We got. Look at our viewers are getting up now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's all you. All right. So my biggest line I say is that wherever I shop, this shit don't have fucking season. So you have to season your food, right? So I'm gonna season our food. So season it.
Meg says, "Hi, Jeremy."
Hey, how's it going?
All right, season it all. And then we're gonna sear it all, all right? Now, normally I'd have my pan getting hot, but because we use the gas ones for this, it's gonna get hot in 3 seconds and we're not gonna waste our time. All right.
Restaurant's packed, by the way. We couldn't get in.
What is it?
We're gonna. Okay.
It'll clear out and then you can come back downstairs.
Restaurant's packed, everybody. Come to Grana.
I love it. All right, let's get this bad boy hot. So now this guy's boiling, so we're gonna turn him down, all right? So I bring it down to a medium heat. So on this thing it's a 9. You obviously it's all different than the way you do it, but that's a 9. Oh boy,
Uh-oh.
that's why we don't do that. Put that back over there. All right, I won't get you dirty.
No,
I
you're
promise.
good. You
All
are
right,
good.
Get this guy on. Get this guy hot. Come on. All right. So that guy's going. As that's going, we're gonna hit it with oil. All right. Whenever you go to somebody's house and they got a warped pan, warped meaning this thing would not even fit on this concoction here because it's going to be wobbling all over the place. It's always because they turn a pan on with nothing in it, right? If I turn this on and it had nothing in it, it will start to pull from the bottom. The heat will start pulling at it. Same thing with this. Got ahead of myself, just excited. Thank you, Maria. All right, this is getting hot. All right, as that's getting hot. Because again, we got to throw our gloves on. We ain't ready to get freaked out with everything going on in the world right now. If anybody's upset with me not wearing a mask doing this thing, don't watch. How's that sound? All right, that guy's going. It's getting hot. This is getting hot. Okay. We're gonna start searing these things off, and then it goes right into the sauce. The last thing we're gonna do is the brajol, because it takes a little bit longer. You gotta tie it. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it's fun. All right, because a lot of people don't do it. I'm going to throw a few more basil leaves, like 2 or 3, into the tomato sauce. Not a lot. Now that it's up to a boil, I'm going to hit it with salt one more time. We're going to give that a taste in a second, make sure it's going in the right direction. This guy's getting hot. You can tell by the way the oil is moving in the pan. All right. Normally I'd probably do a little bit more sausage, but we have a lot of meat. We have a lot here, so I don't want to like really overdo it, you know? So I'm gonna start with the sausage because it's gonna take the easiest to cook, right? Get it in there. Did you hear that? You know you're good. All right, get in there. Damn, just the hot oil smells good.
Yeah, it does smell really good.
All right.
Maria
So-
said looking forward to tasting this in a couple of weeks.
Awesome. I still hard chef Pat. Hi, Tanya. All right, so you notice I didn't season this, all right? Again, this is one of those things, now I'm talking shit and saying that nothing comes seasoned. The sausage should have been seasoned, all right? I've had this sausage before. I do know it's been seasoned, so I'm not gonna sit there and season that even more. There's no need to, all right? Especially because, you know, to make sausage, one of the number one ingredients is salt. So you gotta have salt in there. Turn this guy down a little more. All right, and that's at a simmer. This guy's doing its thing. This is we're waiting on. Meatballs we're waiting on. So we're kind of in that limbo stage right now. We're trying to get some things going, right? The braciole again takes a little bit longer. You guys are gonna want to see the stuffing for that because that's my favorite part of it. Growing up as a kid, I actually used to make my mom and my grandmother take the stuffing out because there was something about chopped parsley for me as a kid and pine nuts that I fucking despised. Right? Now I can't get enough of it out. But back in the day when I was a kid, it was very, very difficult for me to eat for some reason.
Maria said let him know this is his Aunt Maria.
This is who?
Your aunt.
On Facebook.
On Facebook.
Hi, God. All right, searing it. You make a really good Sunday sauce too. I mean, I kind of grew up on it. So, I mean, I'll probably be tasting yours in a couple weeks, right? All right, we're browning each side, okay? So, again, as a kid, my parents didn't do this. They didn't brown the meat. They browned the meatballs, they browned the pork, everything like that, but they threw it in there and it was still delicious. When I eat sausages, I like to hear the snap. That's my favorite part about it. That's the crunch on the skin of it. That's my favorite part. Plus, this searing, as we talked about all these weeks, that's where a lot of the flavor is, guys. It's in that browning of the meat, right? I'm encasing all the flavor in there. All right? Move it again, give it a little turn. You can sear it. You can see it searing really nicely. Almost there. We're not looking to cook these all the way, guys. We're just looking to get a little bit of color on the outside of it. And we're almost there. All right? Oh, it's wine break. Sorry. Apologize. Salud, wine break. Cheers. All right. So, God, that gets better every stream. All right. A little bit more on this side here. Again, not trying to kill it, right? It's going to cook in here. We're just trying to sear it and get some color on it. Another minute or so. This guy's still going. Give it a stir. So if my cousin Emily is still watching, she could attest to the fact that anytime we walked into the sauce and tried to dip some bread in there, you'd get hit with this guy. Now, granted, it was a wooden spoon, so don't feel too bad for me. But in the same sense, you still got hit with it. It still hurt. All right, seared, all sides, get in the sauce. Bury it in there. Don't be afraid. A little bit more color on that guy. That guy's good. That guy's good. A little bit more color on this, all right? Now, as that's going, add your rest of your meat, all right? Same thing. You want to sear the pork. As you can see, I'm putting it away from me where there's no oil, right? That guy's done. Same thing here. Away. I'm trying not to burn these beautiful ladies here. Last thing I want to do is send one of them to the hospital. All right? All right. Get that going. I don't want to overcrowd. So again, that's another thing, guys. If I threw 2 more pieces of meat in here right now, guess what's going to happen? This oil is going to get ice cold, right? Because the meat's room temperature, because I let it temper, but it's going to get ice cold, and then it's going to be a mess. You're never going to get any color on it. You're not going to get any flavor on it. It's going to be a disaster. And that's what we're not looking for disasters, guys. We're making Sunday sauce. So this was my favorite part of childhood, right? This is my favorite thing to eat on Sunday, right? Because you look forward to it every week, you know? And plus you could smell it all morning. Again, my mother would wake up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to get this on. You know, we argue still to this day that I don't think tomato sauce deserves to be on the stove for 4 hours, or 5 hours, or 3 hours, however many hours you want to do it for. But she's like, no, to get the sauce the way I like it, it's got to be 3 hours. Now my mom puts oregano in here. You know, she uses a little bit more garlic. Me, I like it like this. I like basil, chili flakes, a little bit of onion, some garlic, red wine. That's it. My mom does white wine. My mom puts a little bit more water in there. All right, I leave it like that. My mom likes to start hers a little bit thinner because it's going to cook for a longer period of time. For me, I just turn the heat down because I know it's going to cook for a long period of time. And you can see these guys already doing its thing. These sausages, look at this. All right, it's already cooking. Now, flip the meat over, because that's enough color for that. So my favorite part of this as well was this part, right? Well, my mom sometimes would throw like a piece of short rib or something in there, right? That was one of my favorite parts because you're not expecting it. So all of a sudden it's a surprise. You're like, oh my God, it's something else. It's just so good. Looking for her. Yeah. Hi, Sylvia. All right. So let that go a little bit longer. Now that it's browned on two sides, I can add another piece in here, right? Because I know that it's already doing its thing and I don't really got to worry about messing up the heat. Throw another one in there. Then we only got 3 more pieces left. We got some of these meatballs to go. That's going. In another second, when I clear my board a little bit, I'm going to sanitize it. And then I'm going to start chopping the herbs and everything and get going for the brajol. Because again, the brajol is special now. Because I love it now. I love all the flavors incorporated in it. As a kid, fucking despised it. All right? My dad, still to this day, loves every minute of it. So like we talked about earlier, when this is done, Sunday when you're finished, or tonight, if you want to sit around and wait for the pasta, you take all the meat out, that goes in a bowl, right? Covered with plastic wrap, aluminum foil, you save that for later. You take this sauce, you add it with rigatoni, penne. I don't like to eat this pasta with spaghetti. I mean, this sauce with spaghetti is just not for me. I like short pasta, I like to stab my pasta for this one. And then what I do is I toss it with the pasta, maybe a little bit of Parmesan cheese, maybe a touch more basil, some olive oil for the shine. And then you eat that, and then you get to this out. And that's my favorite part, right? The meat part is my favorite. All right, so you check your color. That's perfect. Get that in the sauce, right? And that guy's brown, you get that in the sauce. So you keep this going, all right? Then you add more. Now, the other thing too is you can see we're not adding any more oil. So the reason why is because all this fat starts to render off and it's actually creating more fat in the pan. So you don't have to worry about adding more oil as the time goes. The oil's not going anywhere. It's actually, you're gaining more oil or more fat in the pan. All right, we got one more after that. So this is a big pot of this, right? So this should last you a week. You know, you throw it in the freezer, maybe last you another week. It all depends how many people we got in the house and how hungry you are, you know? For us, this was a Sunday afternoon. You know, we normally invite the whole family over. Everybody's there. You know, there's 15 people at the dinner table. Everybody's eating and having a good time. And then a lot of bread. You're only allowed to touch this with bread when my grandmother was done, or my mother was done, or my Aunt Maria was done. I saw you dip bread in there, forget it. You're done. All right, look at that beautiful color on there. And this is one of those things, guys, it's passed down, right? So my mom may do it a little bit differently, but I'm a chef, so, you know, again, I'm going to want to do things a little differently. But take this recipe, throw a piece of short rib in there, throw maybe, pork neck in there, my father likes to shoot morning doves, he throws a morning dove in there. So, like, it all depends on which one you're throwing. Every once in a while, you may find a squirrel in there. He tells you not to tell anybody. It's absolutely disgusting, but you know what? You find a squirrel in there. We call it special meat. That's normally what he says. Hey, you tell me what you think that is. All right, this guy's got his color. You throw that guy in there. Move this around, and you throw the last guy in there. All right? So now all the meat's in here. Now, clean your cutting board. Sanitize it. Get that clean so there's nothing you have to worry about on here. All right, so that's gonna go. We're gonna turn that down a little bit because now we have a little bit of time. All right, turn that down. Now, we're gonna make the filling for the brajol. You don't need a lot of filling for these because you're not putting a ton in there. All right, first things first, one clove of garlic. This time we're gonna do a little different. This time, take your knife, smash the garlic. All right, a little bit more. Okay, now here, chop. This time you want all of that liquid to come out, and you're gonna see why in a second. We're trying to make this pulverized, all right? So nice and easy. Give it a nice little chop. Get it off the blade. All right, nice little chop again. Off the blade. And then the key, a little bit of salt, okay? And you're gonna see what we're gonna do. Now that you chopped it, you start here, take your knife and push down like this. So if you ever buy that minced garlic from the store, you basically just paid somebody to do this for you when you could do it yourself. All right, sit here, really pulverize the garlic. And in a second, you'll see why we're doing it this way, right? One, all this oil that's coming out of here is what you're looking for. This is what's gonna flavor that bourgeois. Any other time, you're not looking for that. Look, it's basically gone. Get your knife in there, and that's what you're looking for, right? Pulverized garlic. And throw that in there. Now, you could do this with a microplane if you want to, but you know, I wouldn't be doing you guys a service if I'm gonna tell you to bust out the microplane. I'm gonna show you guys some techniques, all right? Get that off to the side. A little pinch of chili flake in there, not a lot. A little salt in there, again, not a lot. Parmesan cheese. I like a decent amount of Parmesan cheese in there. A little bit of panko breadcrumb. All right. The beautiful olive oil from before, just a touch. Okay. Then we're gonna take some pine nuts. All right. This is what I hated as a kid and I love now. We toasted them lightly in the oven for about 4 minutes. We had the oven on about 400 degrees. Do not burn your pine nuts. It's the last thing you want to do. It's awful. All right, now you come back here, flip this. You can see that beautiful color we got on there. Flip that guy. Flip that guy. Look at all that color. That's perfect, all right? So now, you got this, right? You're gonna take your knife. You're gonna take a little bit of this beautiful parsley, flat leaf only. Curly leaf is circa 98, and we're not in 1998. All right? Nice thin slices here. Don't do too thick of a slice. You don't want these big chunks of parsley. My mom, again, as a kid, she used to put whole leaf parsley in here, and I'm probably sure that's probably why I didn't like it. I like the parsley to be evenly distributed throughout the bourgeois, okay? Just like that, in there. Then, I had you guys pick all that basil in the beginning. Now we're gonna take the rest of that basil, just like that. Take it, put it inside the big leaf, give it a little bit of a roll. If you're really good at this, I know what you guys do for extracurricular activities. All right, get it in there. Same thing, nice slice, not a chop. You're slicing your basil. All right, take that, get that in there. All right, now take a spoon and just, you know, mix that together. You may have to add a little bit more oil. I'm looking for a little bit more of a paste form, so we may have to add a touch more oil to this. All right, a little bit more. So it's almost like you're making a quick pesto, but you've got some breadcrumbs in there too, right? So give that a nice little toss. Almost there.
Flavio says he's in the bathroom, but he just
Oh
wants
my
to say
God.
that he loves you.
I love you too, Flavio. Thank you for going into the bathroom to pay attention instead of being on the floor at the restaurant. All right, let's give this a little taste. Amazing. All right, a little more salt. Just like that. Leave that on the side. We don't need any more of this parsley. I'm gonna save it for later. The guys downstairs will need it. All right. Now, turn off your heat. Okay? Because we don't want this to keep going when we're finishing the bourgeois. That's all that beautiful. Actually, no. Don't turn off the heat because we gotta cook meatballs. What the hell am I doing?
Getting a little drunk.
I am getting old, man. This is horrible. All right. Get that in there. Get that in there and get it all nice and snug and get it down underneath. All right. That's doing its thing. Now, because you guys probably get pissed off if I don't use a glove for this because I'm using raw meat. You know, you're at home, you're at the comfort of your own home. You know, again, put gloves on if you could, but you don't really have to. You're at home. All right, meatball. Get in there. So this was the smell that really set you off, right? Because this is cooking and it's frying, and you knew that Mama was making Sunday sauce, Napolitan ragu, whatever you want to call it, you knew it was coming, right? As well as the fact that you knew that when these were done frying, you're basically eating medium rare meatballs, and I'm fine with that because I couldn't wait. So I would get one of them. You know, again, my mom would say you get sick if you eat it. Still to this day, I haven't gotten sick eating a half raw meatball, so I was excited about it. All right. Sydney here is really disgusted with me right now because she doesn't eat meats. So she's definitely not happy with what I'm doing.
You're good.
All right. So you can kind of already smell it doing its thing, right? It's getting nice and seared. So I'm gonna flip this guy just like that.
Anthony said, I'm getting hungry watching you cook. You opening in San Diego.
Hey, listen, you guys got good Italian over there, I keep hearing. Juniper and Ivy, I heard, is there. They're good. You got some good Italian over there, but I mean, listen, you know, find a few investors, maybe we may make something happen, you know? So Anthony was one of my favorite customers, and he was also my boy, which made it better. He was one of my favorite customers at the restaurant I used to work at called Bella Luna. He would come in and just go, chef, cook. That's it. And that's the best thing of being a chef is when somebody comes in, trusts you enough to know that you're gonna make something good, and says, just have fun. That's my favorite part. A lot of the times when we do have, you know, chefs from other restaurants come in, I'll just take it upon myself to just be like, screw it, dude, you're not getting a menu today, I'm just cooking for you. And that's just us trying to find a way to show off to each other, you know? Which is fun. We enjoy it. As you can tell, a lot of chefs have huge egos, so as much as we can do is show off to each other. All right, so let's give this a stir because we're gonna have to make a little bit of room because we got a lot of meatballs coming in, all right? So I'm gonna move that guy over a little bit, just like that. Don't worry, if we have to add a little bit of water, we will. But I'm gonna try to not go with my mom on this one and have to add water in there. Don't tell my mother I said that. I'm probably getting a lot of fucking trouble.
He said, love you, brother.
Love you too, my man.
That's sweet.
Good games. All right, almost there, guys. We're gonna move this guy one more time on its side, and you can see. Check out the other side, right? Now, at the restaurant, we fry these in a fryer because we don't have time to sit here and do all this, right? A lot of the times what my mom would have done is instead of frying them, she made it just bake them in the oven. I like a slightly more tender meatball where I kind of leave it a touch on the softer side. So when you go and put it in the oven, you don't get a hard sear on it. It's gonna start losing its shape, so that's not what I'm looking for. I want this guy to look like a meatball by the time it's done and not a pancake. A meat cake. These girls all laugh at my jokes. I know I'm not this funny, but I feel like they need to laugh at my jokes.
I think you're funny.
Thank you, Sydney. I appreciate it. He really doesn't laugh at anybody.
Yes, we do. You're funnier on the live.
I am really funnier on live.
You are. You have a good sense of
I
humor.
just don't give a shit. All right.
Meg said she's gonna tell your mom.
Ma, Dave, what are you doing? Don't do that, please. All right. Another minute or two. So this guy, look at that. This we keep talking about every week. That's what you're looking for. See all that color? All that's flavor, guy. That's sugar. Right? That's caramelized sugar in the meat. And that's gonna go in here. And then why the hell would I put more sugar in here? It just doesn't make any fucking sense. All right? So I don't care if you tell Gordon Ramsay this shit, because he puts fucking sugar in his sauce. Tell him. The dude's last name is Ramsay, not Pascarella. So funny how? Like I'm a fucking clown car. I'm here to fucking amuse you. If you guys don't know where that's from, it's Goodfellas. And if you don't know where that's from, you definitely lived under a rock. Alright? Sam, our event coordinator, is not up here, so I can't really talk that much shit, has never seen any Mafia movies. We told her that we would expect her letter of resignation soon because you just don't do that. You know, how do you work in a restaurant named Grana or White Bull? Well, White Bull doesn't have an Italian name, but it's got an Italian chef, so it doesn't matter. All right, get that guy in the sauce. All right.
Someone says, do you use Stanislaus tomatoes? I don't know how to pronounce.
So I don't. Kara, what up, my man? I don't. I like it. I think they're good. I just don't. Again, something that's not that readily available here in Atlanta. You know, supposedly they said that Atlanta has one of the largest Italian populations in the United States. If you're Italian and you live in Atlanta, please come and introduce yourself to me because I found about 4. All right, so you know, we're always looking for more, you know, good people to know. Not only Italians, I like everybody, so don't think that I only hang out with Italians. But, you know, we enjoy the same things. We have the same shape normally, like me. All right, like my cousin. I'm working on it though. I'm trying to get rid of the shape. All right, let's get these meatballs in here. Almost there. We're gonna add a few more in here. Give it a little shake, just like that. Get it in there. Like that. Now you can turn this guy down because we don't need this thing blaring right now. We're gonna have to use that again in a second. All right, throw these in there just like this. All right, set that aside. Now, get your spoon. Do not beat up the meatballs because the last thing you want to do is get these meatballs turned, then you're gonna end up with bolognese. It's the last thing you want. All right. So get the meatballs underneath, just like that. Now we still gotta add more stuff. We still gotta add brajol. So remember, before sauce was down here. Now it's almost at the top. So we still gotta add brajol. Now let's make the brajol. Again, my favorite part, guys. This is one of those things that I hated as a kid, but I love now. Wine break. Hold on, wine break. Hero, definitely DOP, my man. Try your best. You know, listen, I'm Italian, so I hate to say this, but a lot of the times the Italians in Italy, they like to screw around with the DOP Sammarzanos, okay? They'll throw something on there that says Sammarzano style or something of that source, okay? I despise that, so I try to just buy a high quality tomato that I know, because I don't want to overpay for something that's not right. Because it just, I feel bad. I feel like I can't sleep at night if that happens. All right, we have the meat. So I bought a bunch of different cuts. I bought a beef thin breakfast steak. I don't know what the fuck that is. I bought an extra lean loin strips, beef for stir fry. We're not gonna stir fry that. And then this was chuck, all right? I don't mind it. I like to do, I buy a whole eye round, I slice it nice and thin, and then we pound it out, all right? So we're gonna do that. So pound this out. So you're looking for about, I don't know, 2 centimeters thick. You're not going too small, but you're also not going too big, all right? You're looking for that. Now, salt, because why? Shit doesn't come seasoned, right? Only the sausage does, so we can't talk a lot of shit. All right, now get a spoonful of this. Spread it out, nice. You know, almost there, don't you worry. All right. Take that, spread it out. Start on one end. What up, Ryan? Hi, Ryan. All right, take one end, roll. Again, if you do this really well, we know what you do. You know what you like to do it yourself every once in a while, extracurricular activities, and that's fine. I'm not judging you. And you roll it like that, all right? So that's one brajol. We're gonna set that aside. I'm gonna show you what to do in a second with that. Start with another piece here with this extra lean loin strips for beef fries. Shit. Damn, they are loin strips, and I messed up. But you know what? You know what we're gonna do? Watch this. I'm gonna throw this in here. Because why waste it, right? Get that heat on. Let that sear. We're gonna make 3 brajol, 4 brajol. What I'm gonna do is probably cut this one in half. Because my mom has a 4-inch rule when it comes to brajol. Oh wait, hold on. I think we might have scored the jackpot. Look at that. 2 pieces. Wow. 1.5, whatever the hell that guy is. All right, we'll pound this one out a little bit. Don't worry if it's broken like that. We're not, we're not looking for instant perfection here. So open that guy up. Nice little spoonful of this in here. All right, same thing. Roll it over.
Good, man.
You smell good, Ryan. Handsome bastard. All right, little roll just like that. We're gonna move that aside. Same thing with this guy. Pound him out. All right. So now, again, we got a little bonus here, right? Because they gave us, I got the wrong meat, stir fry meat. But you know what? This is the best part about it is you get to add whatever you want in it, whatever you want to taste good. So my mom likes to put yours in there. Hey, you know what? Let's put some of that. It's gonna be great. Let's get that in there. Turn this guy off. All right, let's make the last brajol here. Take this, spread it down the middle, spread it out, roll it over. All right, roll. Just like this. Now, get rid of this guy. So my mother when she makes this, uses the absolute most string I've ever seen anybody use in my life, all right? You'll be flossing your teeth with this string by the time you're done because of how much she uses, all right? So what I like to do is I start a little bit farther off. Start with this guy, roll it over, roll this guy, and you just keep going around, all right? Once you get to this point here, flip it over. So this guy's gonna be a little bit rough to work with because it's cut, because whoever did this at the butcher shop did some freaking disaster. So it's gonna be a little bit harder to do, but still, you kind of get the idea. Then you take the two pieces of string, you give it a little tie. Harder to do with gloves on. Tie that guy again. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Jesus Christ. All right, we'll set that one aside. We'll do that one after. All right, same thing with this one. It's a little easier because the shape's the actually correct shape. So we do 1, 2, tie. So we don't want you to work for your meat, so we're not gonna go crazy for this, right? We're not gonna sit here and tie it. You could ask my father, because he'll be on the live eventually. You could ask my father what it's like trying to eat a brojol that my mom makes. It takes 4 days to freaking undo it. All right, we'll tie here. One more tighten, because I feel like this is the one that's gonna go wild on us. So let's see if I can figure out this awful tie here. I'm gonna get it, don't you worry. Come on. I'm gonna get it, I'm telling you. Now we'll get it. Alright. Tie, 1, 2. There you go. Alright, so you got your brojol, okay? Turn this guy on high again. Because we gotta sear this off, same thing. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Alright. Again, season one more time. Sorry that guy looks like he had a rough day. That's all right. All right, wine break because why not? That's good. All right. You could already know that this oil is hot because we just used it to sear some steak. Get that guy in there. All right, so I sear it on the cut part first, right? Because I want that meat to kind of glue and gel together. All right, we're gonna get this a little bit of color in it. Now look at this guy go. This is amazing. Look at that. Oh my God, look at it. Sorry, look at that meat. I feel like that guy on TikTok that goes, look, I got garlic bread. I got this. Look at that guy. All right, almost there. So now, because I can't just sit here and just keep talking shit about my mother, I'm gonna add a little bit of water because we are running out of some room. All right, not a lot. Babe, you can tell her that I did it. It's fine. I try not to let her win, but it is what it is. All right, let's taste this first. See where we're at for salt. Because again, guys, it's gonna cook for 4 hours. There's salt and everything in here. Boom. I know it's gonna cook for 4 hours, but it needs a little bit of help now. All right. This guy's searing. Roll that guy over. It's already got color. Roll that guy over. You can see it's already seared. It's already sealed. Roll that guy over. So now, at the end of the day, this is basically it, guys. Like, it took a little bit of time to do it, but it's not a lot. You know what I mean? Like, this is very easy something to do, and you could literally make this Sunday. Splurge, you know? If you're not Italian, you know, and your family's not expecting it, there you go. If you are Italian, your family's expecting it, then, you know, they're expecting it already. So don't go, it's nothing special. But maybe you don't do it all the time. It's really not that hard. You know what I mean? You get it going first thing Sunday morning, and then you just throw it in the pot, and you just leave it alone. You know, when we were younger, we used to sometimes, you know, leave it on, and now you have a crock pot you can put it in, so it's not that hard. I'm gonna throw that guy in there, all right? Guys, that's it. Like, it's really not that difficult, all right? So now, all we're gonna do is, for the next 3 hours, you're gonna set a timer. You can throw a lid on here, do whatever you want. You'll know you're ready when this pork here starts falling off the bone. We're not there, we're very far away from that, okay? Then what I like to do is I pull everything out of here. Again, I put it all in one big plate. I put that aside, I wrap it in aluminum foil, plastic wrap, whatever you gotta do. And then I take this sauce and I put it in another pan, a little bit of butter, some basil, maybe a little more chili flakes, cook your pasta, always salt your fucking pasta water. Throw it in there, right? Toss it a little bit, because one thing that I hated as a kid was whenever I would eat pasta somewhere and they would give me a bowl of pasta that is white, and then they would pour the sauce over the top. There's a reason why I spend so much time trying to get all those divots in my pasta, because I want the sauce to stick to it. That's the key, all right? So when it's done, again, 5 hours from now, the meatball is gonna be absolutely amazing. Look at that guy already go. Look at this, the braciole. You got your pork ribs in there. Maybe you could find a nice little piece of that steak that we screwed up and threw in there. And don't you worry, guys, it's fucking delicious, all right? So, if you're doing it now, text me at 10 o'clock, let me know how it came out. If you're doing it on Sunday, take a picture of it. Let me know how it goes. Amelia, zoom in on me. There we go. Amelia, Facebook guys. Spin the camera on yourself. So Amelia handles all the social media. She's gonna be posting all this stuff on YouTube. So you guys can just go and just watch it on YouTube if you want. If you don't, then, you know, hell, we're just still gonna upload it. Who gives a shit? So guys, a couple things we're doing. Obviously, we talked a little bit about Bastone opening. Bastone is going to open sometime probably in October, November. We're really moving pretty fast. Atlanta's actually sped up the process of permitting, which is fantastic. We have the podcast we do, guys, which is every Wednesday. It comes out, Apple, Spotify, everything. It's called Salt Your Pasta Water. You guys hear me say it all the time. Please always salt your pasta water. We do this. We try to do this every week. We have the texting platform that we have. We have a lot going on, guys, but like, you know, I want to be able to give all this to you. I want you guys to understand that, like, yeah, as much as I really want you to come into the restaurants, I also want you guys to, like, learn how to make this stuff. And if anything, if you don't want to learn how to make it, or if you don't want to make it at home, at least you know what it goes into it, right? You know, somebody had to sit here today and roll the meatballs all day. Somebody had to make braciole. I mean, this isn't on the menu, but it may be eventually, you know what I mean? So a lot of this goes into it. So when you come in and a dish of pasta is $17, you know what goes into it. You know, you learn that part, right? So I believe the next one's going to be on Sunday, not this Sunday, but the one after. I'm going away for a few days. I need a little break. All right, I plan on drinking a shit ton of wine while I'm gone, going to the mountains and hanging out for a little bit. And then when we come back, we got a lot of stuff going on, getting the new restaurant ready, everything like that, making sure that we have all of our furniture, everything like that go. What up, Betty? What up, my man? Safe for Connecticut. So again, guys, I really look forward to doing this. If anything you guys want to see that's a little bit different that we haven't done yet, let me know. I think the next time we're probably going to aim for, like, you know, Veal Silk and Vodka or something else that was on the list. But you guys tell me if there's something you haven't seen yet, you want to see, you let me know. But yeah, but continue to cook this stuff because it's fun, and text me in 3 hours when it's finished. All right? Enjoy, guys. Thank you.